Hi, welcome everybody. This is Giulia Guiducci from Teatro Necessario, and I want to welcome you to the final BETA CIRCUS Participatory Arts Symposium. Thank you very much for being here. I also want to thank my other partners in crime, Mara Pavula, Katarina Duca, and Eva Ozzolina from BETA CIRCUS in Latvia, Mira Dobrokovic from Ludifico in Serbia, Novi Sad, and of course Bruno Costa and Daniel Villar from Bussola, Portugal, that were the leader partners of this project. Also, I'm very honored and thankful for having Eva Neklyaeva to give a speech to us about participatory arts in this session. So thank you very much, Eva. What is BETA CIRCUS? We created the platform in 2019 because we wanted to address new trends in contemporary circus in our countries, in which we know have a very lack of opportunities for artists and for audiences. We started with new magic, and then we created this second project called BETA CIRCUS Participatory Arts, dedicated to participatory arts. That we found very relevant because it permitted us to address directly our audiences and to involve them in the creative process. So to work directly with local communities and artists from all over Europe. We selected 4 artist group in the circus field and 4 participatory arts artists that you will meet later on all together, and you will have the chance to dive into their experiences later on. We also had with us 4 mentors that were combined with the groups. So I also want to thank very much Lali Alvarez Garriga from Spain, Marlene Scholten from Netherlands, Italy, and Nicola Borghesi and Enrico Baraldi from Kepler 452 in Italy, because they had actually followed the whole project and were with us also in the online sessions and work with the artistic groups. So these symposiums want to give you a glance and an overview on the outputs and all the results that the project had. We want to analyze with you the opportunities that we found, but also the critical moments that we had, to give possibly to other artists in other countries the opportunity to work with participatory arts, using our experiences as a step and as a starting point to do new projects. So thank you very much and have a good symposium.
Hello and welcome. My name is Eva Neklyaeva and I'm honored to share this keynote with you today. My curatorial practice has been deeply informed by my work with institutions such as Baltic Circle Festival in Helsinki, where we engaged thousands of people into debating arts and politics during participatory project Make Arts Policy in 2014. Checkpoint in Helsinki that experimented a lot with participation in public space, or Sant'Arcangelo Festival that is co-created by the community of the town where the festival is situated in. Currently, I work as a performing arts programmer at Vernootbier Arts Center in Ghent. Through these experiences, I have had the privilege of engaging with different models of participatory art, witnessing its power to transform relationships between artists, institutions, and communities. What is crucial to understand about participatory art is that it is a field that is not only transforming artistic practice, but also reshaping the very structures of cultural institutions that try to engage in it. As Claire Bishop explores in Artificial Health, participatory art has historically been a battleground for different artistic and political visions, whether it concerns societal issues, aesthetics, or democratic process. Today, I invite us to reflect on how participation in the arts can be more than just a temporary art act, something that is contained within this one performance or one artwork, but can it be something that we use as a catalyst for deeper structural change? What is exactly the promise of participation? For decades, participatory art has been heralded as this way to democratize artistic creation, inviting audiences, communities into the artistic process. At its best, it allows people to co-create, co-imagine, and co-define the meaning of artistic practice. Yet, as Bishop argues, participatory art is fraught with tensions between the autonomy of the artist and the agency of the participant, between the avant-garde promise of social transformation and very concrete and real bureaucratic structures that often mediate it. And often, I must say, the invitation to participate is made without giving much thought to why to participate, following the belief of the art as elevating experience, the belief that plugs the field since the Enlightenment. So, looking at participatory art projects across different contexts, we see a set of recurrent themes that shape the possibilities and limitations of this approach. One is about fragility and strengths of relationships. It is my firm belief that participatory art is built on relationships, and relationships take time. Many projects demonstrate that trust is not automatic. It is cultivated over months, if not years. Trust moves with its own speed. And here's where the role of mediators, producers, cultural workers, and facilitators is crucial. They act as bridges between institutions and communities, ensuring continuity even after the project is done and the artists leave. Second, and this is my favorite one, is about uncertainty and the role of time. And I know we all say it's about process and not the product, but do we really mean it? One major tension in participatory art is the expectation to produce a tangible outcome. That sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it really is a part of the process, and sometimes it's not. Many projects struggle with the pressure to showcase a polished result within very limited time frames. True participation allows for uncertainty. It means valuing the process of collaboration as much as, if not more than, the final product. You need to be truly okay with not knowing where the process will lead you. And the third one is about power and equity in co-creation. Who truly holds power in participatory art? If an artist invites a community into a project but ultimately determines its direction, is it co-created? As Bishop critiques in Artificial Health, the challenge of equitable participation is not just an artistic one, but an economic one. Who gets paid? Who gets to make decisions? How are resources distributed? These are structural questions that need to be addressed for participatory art to be genuinely transformative. So, where do we go from here? Rethink governance. This is an important step. Imagine how to move beyond inviting participation in programming and consider how participation can reshape the governance of the institution. Because this is where you're going to arrive sooner or later if you do participation well. Because it brings up the questions of governance, agency, power relationships, justice. Invest in mediation. The role of cultural workers as facilitators needs greater recognition in the field and needs support. And this is what allows us to form relationships that stay longer in time. This is what allows us to move from project-based thinking to more long-term relationship building kind of approach. And that payment do consider that economic justice is a part of participatory art. So participatory art is not just about bringing people together. For me, it's very much about questioning and reshaping the structures that define our cultural spaces. This means rethinking governance, rethinking mediation, and challenging the economic rules within which we operate. Not an easy process at all, no. However, I think it's crucial to get real about what participation really is. Participation in the arts, or in the political process, or in your own life. How it will go from here depends on our collective ability to imagine and implement the new models of collaboration. Ones that are inclusive, sustainable, just, and fun and pleasurable for everybody. How can we ensure that participation is not just an act, but a practice, an ongoing practice that leads to real transformation? Thank you for listening.
The project started with 2 artistic laboratories, one in Latvia and one in Portugal, and then we had 4 digital workshops led by the 4 mentors. And then we started with the 4 artistic residencies in the 4 countries, in which every group of artists presented in the end a show. So Mirror of Novi Sad, Nel Blu, 1, 2, 3, and Now You Are a Tree, and Waving Windows were the 4 creations that have been born from this project. What you will listen now, it's the experiences they had in creating those projects, in realizing those shows, what were the opportunities we had, what was critical, what was an issue, what was important, and what is important now to know for the others that want to follow the same path.
I am Caterina Moroni and I dove into the blue together with my colleagues, with my partners in crime, Jonathan and Robbie. Into the Blue, Nel Blu in Italian, is the title of our collective creation presented at the Tutti Matti per Colorno festival.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Gunning and I dove into the blue with Robbie and Katerina in Colorno with our project Nel Blu.
Through the BETA CIRCUS project, we transformed Colorno's swimming pool into a space for artistic and human exploration, for art, for connection and reflection. In the middle of summer, in a town without the sea, the pool is more than just a place to cool off. It's an oasis, it's a shelter for those who stay, a place where solitary moments intertwine.
Our first challenge was when the three artists, two from Ireland, myself and Robbie, and Caterina Moroni from Italy, had to get to know each other. We had never worked together before, and we didn't actually know each other. Myself and Robbie had been introduced into the project by Con Horgan, who is the head of Finzini Productions. And unfortunately, he couldn't come to Italy because of personal reasons, nor could another artist. And so we were left to figure each other out, how we worked, how we lived while we worked, and different approaches. And that was challenging. The second challenge that we encountered was language. Myself and Robbie do not speak Italian to a very high standard. And so we needed to rely on Caterina for translating meetings, workshops, for ordering materials, for ordering food, for lots of tiny little detailed little jobs that we would normally get done with in moments, but they took longer and slowed everything down and frustrated myself and Robbie, and probably frustrated Caterina, and most definitely took energy from her, and that was quite difficult.
I believe, or maybe I want to believe, this project made a real impact for the participants. It created a sense of belonging, turning this familiar place into something special. They took pride in welcoming an audience into their summer retreat, seeing it in a new light. For the pool workers and regular visitors, it was something they had never experienced before, an extraordinary moment that brought them together in a new way. It gave energy to those who needed it and made them feel part of something bigger.
Our third challenge was the heat. It was extraordinarily hot in August in northern Italy, and we couldn't sleep. And due to a quirk of our timetable, we had to work during the hottest hours of the day, often outdoors under the sun, which is when the only time we often could work with the members of the community involved in our performance. Our fourth challenge was our place of work, the municipal swimming pool in Colorno. A very unusual place with its own habits and its own rules. Often timetables were changed, opening hours were changed, staff members appeared and disappeared. There were issues with the pool itself, and we were constantly being called to emergency meetings and having to respond to last minute changes.
We connected this small corner of the province with Ireland and Europe, linking a local pool to the vastness of the sea and its mysteries. We invited people to reflect on human displacement, movement, living, and the invisible ties that connect us all.
It was also challenging working with mentors who, nice people, have a very different way of working to us. And so having to negotiate that, both for them and for us, was difficult.
For the audience, we offered a poetic glimpse into the place, revealing the magical realism of those who inhabited it, people who resist the heat and the loneliness of summer, who create their own little world here. By shining a light on their reality, we revealed something extraordinary in the ordinary, awakening a sense of wonder and connection. Personally, I'm still in touch with many of the local people we met during this project. But more important is that I know that they are still connected to each other, continuing to share those bonds we helped create.
Italians speak Italian. No one told us. We didn't. How would we know this? Irish people, we gave up Italian a long time ago. We moved on. And it was, yeah.
Ciao tutti, ciao Beta Circus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Katrin Duke. I am the International Project Manager at the BETA CIRCUS, and I had the honor to work with Christ Buran and Martin Scheich, who is not here, and Anna Jordao and Vincent Koller, who is not here, and a group of wonderful local people who identify themselves as tree friends in a BETA CIRCUS project that we collectively named 1, 2, 3, and now you are tree. And today we are here to talk about our experiences and the things that have stayed with us, and to share a little bit of the knowledge we generated in the process. Krista, do you want to take over?
Hi everyone, my name is Krista Buran, and together with Martin Scheich, we were responsible for the participatory part in this project. So we bring into the process our knowledge about how to work together with everyday experts, and in our case, they were the people who really find themselves close to the trees.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anna Jordao. I'm a contemporary circus artist and maker, and together with Vincent Koller, our role was to bring the circus element into this project and to sort of explore the potential of participation within circus art. So this was the first time for us doing such a thing, and it was very exciting.
Hello, I'm Lian Drayman, one of the locals or tree friend, and I was participant of this amazing show.
Hello, my name is Karu Trey. I was also one of the wonderful local tree friends, and I was a participant.
So maybe then we can start our conversation with Liana and Karu and your experience, and maybe you can tell a little bit about how you felt yourself in this participation process. Was it really participatory for you? And in which way?
It was, and actually a lot, and all process was built quite openly and involving. So yes, there was always opportunity to reflect and communicate your thoughts, feelings, and our own ideas, and that was really amazing. And to be honest, actually, that was excellent democratic activity from the smaller perspective for each other, for participants, and also, yes, based on these human connections and communication. Social aspects, that was really, really great. And from the wider perspective, actually, that was I'm out of words because yes, so talented professionals from all Europe came here to Latvia to make this beautiful experience, and yeah, that was really, really great memory for the all time, I think, for me.
I agree. I would say it definitely felt very involved and very democratic. Although it was clear that there is a frame that we were filling with our own stories, a frame or a structure that we did not have control over. And even though we were very involved and we had our own creative freedom, I think it also worked together very well that there were these limitations that we were met, that it didn't turn out into pure chaos as if we were all executing our own ideas. So I think these two aspects of control and freedom worked really well together here.
I would bounce another question at you. So from your experience, what did it mean to perform circus in this context? What did it mean to you? And how was your personal experience with the new things that we tried together?
It's a balance between responsibilities and playfulness, balance between quality result for audience and being free and bit careless and playful in the process while we were preparing it, and at the same time actually are super focused and you are really aware of everything. So that's really impressing process, because at the one moment you feel like really playful, but at the same time you are really focused, and you are in the whole process connected with others. So that was really great. And that for me really nice part was that was held in Riga Circus. It's an amazing place, and really great quality techniques, and that was also really special.
I would say that for me, what I noticed most when performing circus was the connection between all of the performers as well as our circus professionals. I think because for all of us participants, we were on the same playing field. I don't think any of us can do the splits. Maybe I'm lying, but we connected both as an audience and as well as performers, because we watched you guys perform all these amazing tricks and things, and we all had the sense of wonder and amazement. But then also it was our turn to go up and do things, and when we were on stage, either we were walking around with sticks or ropes, or even if we were helping you reach the sky, it was always about working together as a team. And even though it wasn't us doing all the amazing tricks and everything, we were still a part of it. And I think we all got that feeling that we are crucial to this, even if we aren't flying in the sky.
Thank you. And maybe one last question about the experience, because it did happen some time ago already. We had two shows, 15th and 16th of November of last year. So there has been some time period in between now that we are talking about it. But could each of you share something that has really stayed with you? Perhaps that's an idea or some kind of feeling, or maybe it's just a memory or something that really, if you think about the BETA Circus experience and the performance, what is this thing that really has stayed with you from that whole experience?
That definitely was a lifetime experience, and like I said, some memories nice will stay and remain for all of life, I think. And nice thing another is that we got really good connections and friendly, good contacts with like-minded individuals, and that's really amazing. And to be honest, actually, in this circus experience is something really deep and quite healing for inner child, I think, and it's really it's a big value for me, and I'm with such a great gratitude for this whole process, and like I said, this democratic experience, and to see such great and professional artists. So that was really amazing, and so I'm my biggest gratitude to all the process and organizers. So thanks.
For me, the ecological aspect of it really stuck. Growing up in the city and not spending a lot of time in the countryside, I haven't spent a lot of time noticing or thinking about trees, and now I do. And I notice the absence of trees so much more vividly than I used to, and it just seems like it impacts the quality of my day, of my life, when I can tell whether there's a tree nearby or whether the tree is alive and feeling happy. And I try to think, does anyone have a story about this tree? Because maybe to me, it's just a random tree, but maybe someone, like I learned many people do, have very special stories about them. But on a more fun and practical note, I have started using some of the exercises that we practice there, and I've been using them in my drama classes to teach to my kids, and they quite enjoyed it, actually.
I would propose we switch roles, and Lena and Karu, if there's something you would also like to ask Krista and Anna.
So could you share some words about the tools and approaches you used from your field involved in process and from the circus arts?
Maybe I will make some steps back and look to how we started, and I really think that our performance was successful and beautiful. And there are several reasons for that. And first of all, from the very beginning, we understood that we will have really short time for rehearsals. So when we decided what kind of people we would like to work with, it was clear that we need to find the people with common values. So, and this was the reason for the open call, especially for the people who are close to trees. And I think it was the first step to the success. We got an amazing group with open hearts and minds and with common values. So we could start already to work with a topic. And this topic was really important for everyone who was involved in the process. So, and it was actually important topic for the Latvia. So it was important that we work with issues which are our everyday lives issues. So and in from that side, if we look, then we achieved the participatory arts objective to work with socially important issues. So even before the rehearsal began, we had a very clear idea about what kind of exercises we would use and how they would fit into the possible structure of the performance. Karu already said that they were the structure. Yes, they were. And we really know what kind of things we want to experience together with you. And before we started to work with you, we worked together in our creative group to really test them out and so are they working or not. And actually I can say that almost everything we tested on ourselves we did in rehearsals, and it was the part of the performance. So it was somehow the rightly choose the participants and really good work before we rehearsals to prepare the stage and prepare ideas and prepare the activities. And if we think about activities, then from the participatory side, our aim together with Martin was used approaches that create a safe and trusting working environment where everyone could feel trusted and heard and free. And those methods allowed each participant to share personal experiences about their relationship with nature, listen to and truly hear other stories, interpret them, and shape a collective narrative. And I'm really proud of the things you did. And it was this poetic text which we get at the end was really strong and meaningful and beautiful in the same time. So we worked with creative writing techniques and role reversals to give voice to the performance protagonists tree, which one of them stands behind me. And it was, I think it was important to us that both the participants and the audience, even if just for a moment, could imagine themselves as trees and consider the world from the tree's perspective. And as Karu, you said before, now you go and look to the trees and think about their stories. So I think that a lot of people who was in audience do the same now. And I think in a structure of the performance, the prologue was really important because in the prologue the audience met you personally and listened to your personal stories and heard your voices. And after, during the performance, when your voices were recorded, they could recognize you and recognize your personalities and your feelings and your stories, and it somehow made the narrative of the performance really emotional and impactful. And of course, all things you did with your movements and together with Anna and Vincent, and then the possibility to involve the audience members to move together with you was really nice approach. And then the end, when everyone was lying in the middle of the beautiful Riga Circus arena, it was strong, meaningful, and beautiful experience. So thank you once again for that.
I'm just going to add some little things about our personal approach,
Okay.
like from Vincent and I. And yeah, of course, like it was such a beautiful layer of so many things, whatever Krista Martins brought, whatever we brought, whatever the participants brought with them, it was so incredibly rich. And I'm just, now rethinking and being so amazed about how all those layers fitted so perfectly together, also with the light, beautiful light design, beautiful music, the venue itself. So yeah, really, really amazing. But now to be very practical and very practical about the things that Vincent and I proposed. So from our side, as circus artists, we brought 3 main tools in order to propose and create material with the participants. And first one was our own movement practice. So Vincent and I have been teaching workshops for the last years, and we've kind of developed a movement practice that is based on partnering and on creating improvised or intuitive physical dialogues between 2 or more people. So again, all the playfulness comes from this thing of reacting and acting with somebody else and always having a clear task. And so in the context of the piece, it was really interesting for us to kind of revisit this material and to recognize how our movement practice shares so many common principles with ecology. So we are working with concepts like energy efficiency and like really deep listening, really working with a huge respect for the other body and for the resource that is there, the energy that is there, and also being because we are working with improvisation mostly, we are in constant relationship with change, and we are also working with like regenerative movement practices. So this is a bit inspired by martial arts. So yeah, for us it was really interesting to see how these movement practices share so many things with ecology, and also how they really because it's so playful and so intuitive, it really helped us create a very tight bond between people. Like most of the participants were kind of strangers, and after a few hours of being playful together, it really helped us to create a cohesive, like trusting environment, and this is really beautiful to see for us. The second element we brought was, of course, circus. So we tried, in order to make circus accessible, we kind of tried to boil it down to simple things, such as like, I have a background in like partner acrobatics, which means I'm constantly dependent on another body to kind of do stuff with. And so we worked a lot on, we're trying to propose circus as having these very basic elements. So being in a relationship of trust and dependency with another partner, working with objects. In this case, we were working with like ropes and sticks and found objects from the forest. And another element we brought from circus was the work in suspension. So in this case, we brought harnesses, and so people could hang and be suspended and feel that sensation of what it's like to be in a performative situation in the air, and also being rigged. Yes, so those were kind of the circus elements, and this was like our approach to try to make it accessible. So not to think about virtuosity, but to think, what does it mean to work when I'm suspended? What does it mean to work with an object? We try to make circus a little bit more accessible by doing that. And the third element, which is something that Vincent is really passionate about, and it's a pity that he cannot be here today, is something that we call performative rigging. So in this case, we were inviting the participants to become visible performers while they are being responsible for a body that's hanging. So in the case, that was me doing hair hanging, and we had this beautiful rigging design where 4 different people were responsible for my suspension, and they could also move me in space while I was being also supported under by the participants. So that was, we kind of explored this idea of performative rigging. So rigging usually is kind of a thing that you don't see, it's in the background. And in this case, we kind of try to make it visible and try to invite people to feel that responsibility of like, okay, I am responsible for this body, and something can go wrong if I'm not there, So that was something really, really beautiful that we explored together. Sorry, talking a bit too fast. And in terms of the approach for us, was always first and foremost, the most important thing was to create like a playful and very curious attitude towards experiencing new things. And at the same time, knowing that there's always someone or something to fall back on, because we are continuously working together and in interdependency. So of course, we always try to make a very safe environment where everyone is allowed to explore as much as they want, and there's always something there to support you. So that was very important, and I think we managed to create I think the success of the performance comes from this as well, from having taken that care to create bonds together.
Or perhaps if there's anything else anyone would like to mention that you find is relevant, and I think this is the opportunity to do that.
So maybe then I can just say that if the aim of the project was to test, does the circus come together with participatory art? Then yes, of course. Our answer is 100% yes, it is possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, and also particularly in the connection between our collaboration, so Vincent and I and Kristen Martins, I think I was personally also very surprised how the things intertwined so easily. Like all these beautiful tools of storytelling and writing, and all the use of images and the voice, things turning into voice recordings and mixing personal stories and memories and putting this into like a really macro narrative. So kind of becoming a bit more abstract, but like a mix of so many different people, so many different things, so many different images. Somehow we found a really good way to put that together with the movement, with the beautiful images that we created of bodies and ropes and sticks and all of this stuff, and to make these different scenes, and also in combination with the beginning of the performance where people were talking one-to-one with the participants, and sometimes being told stories, sometimes just observing from the outside, and virtuous things happening. The connection of everything was really kind of easy to make, and we had so many beautiful ideas, and also it was so amazing that the participants were so willing to do all of these kind of crazy things and silly things. There was so much generosity there, and I was surprised at how easily it was to kind of puzzle these things together with circus, with things that were quite daring as well. This performative rigging was quite a daring proposition, and that I'm amazed, and it was really incredible to be part of something like this. Also not forgetting Andres the musician was there also to bring some really incredible experiments, and Nicola did a really beautiful light design. The venue itself and the team of Riga Circus were incredibly amazing. Participants, huge gratitude. So I really hope to be able to do something like this again.
Also from our side, this was quite of an experiment to also have non-professional circus artists really participate in circus. Also the creative rigging was a challenge for our team, but also a very nice place to grow and experiment. And I think also what we heard from the audience is it was really a success. So thank you for the experience, and thank you also for this conversation.
Hello, I'm Mirabeva Dovrkovic from Novi Sad, partner organization Ludifico. We were we had first residency here. It was in May 2024. It was from 1st to 19th of May with two presentations on 17th and 18th of May, which actually was the presentation were in a frame of the first edition of the festival. The festival name is Circus Danas, which means Circus of Today, but we prefer not to translate it, so the name is Circus Danas. So what I can say about this first residency of BETA CIRCUS Participatory experience is that it was very different from things that you can expect here in Novi Sad, especially because it was done in a high school. And it was actually really difficult to enter into high school because high school is not a place where you can enter and do the artistic project for 3 weeks. So it was really good, and I'm really thankful to the high school Tvrđava, which means fortress, that they accepted us. So there we were working, actually the artists were working there, we were helping them, and the best thing about this residency was that most of the ideas came before. So we had a few online meetings in which all the ideas were floating. So then they were exploring on the site how those ideas can be implemented in a high school and how they can transform high school in a place for the art. And the high school was the frame because we had a terrible shooting accident which happened in 2023. It was actually in elementary school where the 10 people lost their lives, 9 kids and 1 security officer. So that was because of that we wanted to pay people to pay more attention to high school and what is happening there. Is it a safe place, and how kids are seeing their communities.
Lesson learned in participatory circus arts. Well, the first one was learning the word. We got that. Another one was for sure to realize how big the social aspect is in a project like this. To find time to meet the team, meet the process, understand the circumstances, get to know the participants, also before and after working hours. That's a big part of the project. Ideally, of course, we have a wonderful team full of competent people in social aspects, but having a professional in this team, especially if it's about tricky topics, political topics that hit a nerve of a city or a community, I think it would be a great plus for upcoming projects.
Hi to everyone in BETA CIRCUS community. First of all, I would like to thank you all for giving us this opportunity to work in Novi Sad together with Sebastian, Seb and Chris. We really had some crazy good time, especially working with young people. We worked in a secondary school and had youngsters from all around Novi Sad coming and doing this project with us. We had a great support and great knowledge given to us from Ricardo and Anna, and they were just in the right way there for us to offer some knowledge that was a lack of in some points, and also to support us in the best way. They were really like the master chefs of cooking this thing with us, and they just knew in which moment we needed the support, and they just knew what kind of support was needed. So thank you, Ricardo, thank you, Anna, and thank you everybody organizing it. At the end, it was really a great outcome, an installation / performance happening all through the school. It was, I think, very specific, I wish there was more chances to do it again. But Mirror of Novi Sad was really a special day, a special performance to be in it.
The question was how to incorporate circus arts, which usually take a long time to learn and to deal with, to find your personal expression, and work with a group of volunteers so they find their expression. And what is the role? What is the role of the participants? And for us it was important that they're not just like helpers of the professional circus artists. That would have been a shame. So what we found was that using objects that are used in their daily life really helps for them to engage with these objects and to have no fear of exploring them or experimenting with them. Maybe they would have been more respectful with professional equipment or an abstract object like a club. In our case, we chose a classroom, tables, chairs, light switches, whatever was there. And so the students we worked with were very familiar with them. There was some heartwarming situations where we built sculptures and all of it collapsed. And the students were really distressed by it, and we could just give them this information that in circus we call it a drop, and it's something that happens, and we move on. The classroom situation also allowed us to have, for us, a new way of audience interaction. So the audience had to queue outside the classroom, and they could only throw a couple of seconds of a glance into the classroom through the window of the door, and then I dared to move on and queue again. So there was this kind of anticipation of like, how will the classroom have changed till next time you're here, which was really a very interesting way of having an audience situation. One lesson for sure is the need of flexibility, not only in the physical but also in the mental sense, in ever-changing schedules, in getting to know over time again how a society works, how a country works, how a community works, how we can catch them, how we can interact with them. So yeah, maybe it comes back to the same point that time is of the essence, like giving time is truly one of the cornerstones of such a project, which correlates really nicely to circus, because also there you have to give time if you want to progress in this field.
I must say, as for in my name or in the name of the group that was with me, Milena and Marco, I think we really learned a lot in working together in making some new ideas or making some new tasks and some new proposals and how to work especially with young people or with the greater community, and also how to decide, especially how to decide on what is the performance we are going to make and how is it going to flow through the course of the time that we are performing or doing this installation that we did at the end. I'm also so much thankful to Beba and Nebo and Gagi and everybody that is included in this project in Novi Sad. And I'm very proud for its outcome and what happened afterwards, since we continued working with the same group of young people on the next project. So thank you all, and hope to see everybody from BETA Circus again.
Hello everyone, my name is Bruno Costa and I'm representing Bússola as a coordinated partner from this BETA CIRCUS Participatory project in cooperation with my colleague Daniel Vilar, that we work together from Portugal with all the other partner organizations and all the other faces and voices that you already discovered during this project. Now we are approaching the end of this digital seminar, but we still need to discover the last artistic experience that we delivered together with 23 Milhas, the municipal cultural project of the city of Ilhavo in the center north of Portugal, very close to the ocean with a very maritime history, but we decided with the artists to focus in the real center of the town. With the mediation team of our local partner, we discovered specificities of the city and we welcome a collective of artists led by Melody Nolan and Homer van Solt in the circus team, let's say like this, and We Tum Tum collective with the voice of Bruno Stima that we will see in a few minutes in this conference. They decided to work together in the square outside of Casa Cultura de Ilhavo, the main venue of the city and the headquarters of the local cultural project. This is a not brand new evening, but a very recent evening in the architecture of the city, changing some of the habits. And 1 year before the project, when the artists arrived in the place, they discovered that the people living around in the apartments around the square, they usually don't show up in the ground level when some show is happening outside of the theater. So this click was like a need, inviting the artists to discuss and work on this process and propose a methodology built together with Lali Alvarez Garriga, the mentor that worked together with the artists, giving them methodologies, supporting the narrative and the dramaturgy, and building the final piece that we discovered last December called Waving Windows. This was a very different project than all the three that you already saw before, and now I invite you to listen by the voice of the artists and supported with some images a bit of the process that take place in Ilhavo a few months ago. For sure, things were adaptable, changeable, and following the concrete needs that the artistic team found on the place.
Hello, my name is Omer. I'm from The Hague. I'm an artist and now also working in circus and also participatory circus.
And my name is Melody. I'm originally from the US, but now I live in the Netherlands and I'm a circus artist.
The first time in October in 2023 when we came to Lem Festival in Ilhavo, we were watching some shows outside and we saw that while there was a show happening outside, there were people that were living next to the square. They were looking from their balconies down and they were a part of the audience, but they were still in the confines of their own homes and they were enjoying the kind of culture coming out of the Casa de Cultura. And we thought it was a really interesting dynamic and it clicked with this idea that Bruno brought as well. So the moment we saw that, we were like, okay, I think we have found our base. We were looking a little bit into, okay, so who are we working with? What is your profession? How do you tie into this participatory element, but also circus element? And we saw that, We Tum Tum is a percussion collective who work on a participatory base. And we saw that the material they work with are these big construction tubes that they use as slapophones. So it's a way to kind of like guide the percussion to different tones, different rhythms. And I saw these tubes and I saw the building, and this is the moment where it clicked, where if we want an opportunity for the stories of these buildings to come outwards, then let's use these tubes with kind of the opportunities that they have for sound to travel, to use the tubes to kind of connect the building to the square.
Ainda está escuro lá fora e eu vou de bicicleta a caminho do mercado.
Ele estava no exército.
O melhor dia são os sábados, enquanto estou no mercado.
Antes, Ilhavo era 80%
Deixei de fumar aos 11 anos.
Colocam-no dentro
Eu era
do
um
barco
puto
e o povo continua a
e estes
mover-se dentro
rapazes
do
que
barco.
eram mais velhos que eu
Desesperado.
levaram-me para um quarto.
Passo pelos campos da minha família, onde as frutas e os legumes ainda verdes esperam juntar-se a mim na próxima viagem.
Ia ficar congelada para sempre naquele momento.
And so coming into this year at LEM Festival, we had the idea to work with a group of people from the community in Ilivo to create a performance with the tubes and an installation to go alongside it. And this was really interesting because we showed up and we thought, maybe we'll work with 20 or 30 people. We're going to have like 2 meetings for every week, and we're going to do rehearsals and generate the performance together and decide what sort of content we want to communicate to the audience. And when we first arrived, we didn't find people to work with, actually.
Yeah. We had a lot of big ideas and big plans, and we arrived and we were met with the reality of the city we were working in. There were some people of the building that were really interested in working in the project, mainly in providing stories more than being on stage and actually participating. So this already was a first moment where we were like, okay, different dynamic, but we roll with it. And we found out that before Casa da Cultura, which is the cultural center that now houses in the square, was there was a huge market. And this kind of was the first pointer towards, okay, this is what we're actually looking at and what we're looking for. So we went to where the market is relocated now, which is maybe like a 5-minute walk from that square. And we started talking to the people that worked in the market and people that have also worked in a previous market, and the relationship between the square, the people that now work in the market, and also with Casa da Cultura, the cultural center. And basically, by talking with the people that we found there, we realized that there was this tension. There was maybe a little bit of resentment, a little bit of looking for connection, sometimes also being averse to this connection because of an apparent disconnect. And this is kind of where we found an opportunity to see, like, okay, we feel that there's a necessity to connect.
And in this, we also found a different way of relating to the people who were living in the city. And we realized that the function of the installation and performance could really be to communicate this, so that it was almost like the voices of the people of the city are speaking to the Casa da Cultura.
Yeah, and this is kind of where our flexibility came in. It's like we had an idea which could have gone in any specific direction, but when we found this out, I think it was, to us, quite clear. We had space outside of the context of a stage, of needing to perform, where we allowed ourselves to kind of have a genuine conversation, and we could allow both them but also ourselves to kind of see where we came together. And this is basically what we used to then bring to the stage.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I was the person from our collective, the Wituntum, that was more involved on the process. And personally speaking about myself, was really enrichment process. So that started in 2013 in Riga last summer. Meeting all the participants of this international project that had other groups and other countries with the different teams and results, but we met together, and it's always really great to see other mindsets, other perspectives, hear from different experiences, life experiences. Particularly for me, and giving you a context, I'm from music. Wituntum, it's a collective. Most connected with music and percussion, and we had opportunity in the past of working in several participatory projects. Me personally, in a participatory project, I don't remember work with a circus artist and with this goal of integrate this discipline in a participatory project. So through that perspective, for me was really nice, really great to think about how we could integrate this discipline as well from Lally and her perspective and her work that is completely different from what I'm used to. Was really great to receive their perspective and their knowledge. And we, on the result, we used one of the materials that on the Wittonton we use it a lot, so the tubes, and was really nice to saw a material that we use so many times in so different projects, but now work that material in a different way and through the eyes of the circus through the eyes of Melody and Homer. So was really great. I had this opportunity. So personally speaking, and as a collective, I can say that was a great opportunity to mix these disciplines. Personally, I'm passionate. How can we connect different kind of approach, different kind of disciplines, art disciplines? So this is that manifestation. Sorry. And now in the presentations, and at the end, Artur joined to the process through the reality that we had here. The result, it's through what we had to work, the space, the people that appeared. So the result, it's something that reflects that. And I think with the reality that we face I'm really happy with the result. So thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Lally.
And I think what I would definitely take with me from this process is the idea of allowing your work to be in dialogue with the community where it's created and where it's performed. So for us, it would be really interesting to, for instance, take this project to another context, another community, and to see what we can connect between the elements that exist there.
I think we got a great opportunity during LEM Festival and BETA Circus to develop our project, which works for that specific project, but also for our working method in a longer term, to develop a way in create a baseline, know what you can work with, and then allow a certain kind of openness to be interpreted from outside, and then bring this modular piece to the audience. And I think also from the reactions that we got, both from the people that work together with us in the production of the show, but also from the people who weren't incorporated in this, and the outcome that they saw, that I think it was a success to see kind of what came out of that and the enthusiasm in people.
Yeah, learned a lot and really happy to have had the experience.
A lot of times you have a plan, no? Okay, we're going to go into a territory and we're going to do this or that. We are going to go into a community and we're going to find participants this way or that and ask them to do this or that. But then when you get there, sometimes nothing is what you expected. And here for me is when you have to use your tools, which for me are humility, curiosity, and ingenuity. You have to be humble to understand that you as an artist are nothing special, or you are no more special than any of the people you are going to pass on the street. And you have to be curious so that your creativity is awakened to enter paths that you would never enter, and that can be the key to unblock your project. And yeah, you have to be naive to dream of a possible legacy to leave behind you when you leave that territory.
Well, every project has an end, and we are now approaching the really ending point of this 2-year journey, of this 2 years adventure. BETA CIRCUS Participatory Experience was a project, as Giulia Guiducci presented you in the beginning of this seminar, starting by a possible trend focusing on a need that we as consortium, Bussola, Teatro Necessario, Ludifico and Riga Circus, find together, trying to discover if participatory arts can have a space and emerging in terms of methodology with contemporary circus. We, based on an open call, invited artists from all over Europe to present their projects, to put their names on the table, to work with us to test methodologies. In the end, we are, as you saw in the past presentations, happy with the results. We prove, with good things to replicate and with bad things to not do again, we prove that it's possible to work and merge participatory circus as a new subdiscipline that can bring together communities, stories, artists, programmers, cultural managers, and even politicians in the same table, speaking the same story, touching the same issues. With this, BETA CIRCUS Participatory Experience, trying to put a stamp on the European contemporary circus. Our journey started with the invitation of European artists through an open call to connect with us and put themselves in for this participatory adventure. On the other side, locally, each partner invited local collectives to propose themselves to work with us. Artistic laboratories, workshops, and capacity building were the first step to achieving a moment that artistic experience take place. First, in Serbia, the Mirror of Novi Sad was a very intimate, unique and special artistic experience in a high school, merging circus artists, local collective and a very, very different experience. We merged ourselves inside the building of a school, exploring the space and following the map of the artists. A few months later, Colorno in Italy and their local swimming pool hosted a very different adventure. Nel Blu, in the blue. So the artists have a big challenge. Where is the community in the summer? So this swimming pool, these questions about water, migrations, movement and community was the touching point to merge them with Colorno experience. Following our route, we arrived in Riga, Latvia, where the artists decided to touch a more environmental and sustainability issue to connect with the local community. The trees, the plants, that we have with us in our environment was the key point for this very unique and large experience inside the iconic Riga Circus Arena. 1, 2, 3, and now we are at 3. A performance that brings together different relationships of experience. The participants that put their histories, their connections with trees in the story, and the audience that was taking part of this. And last but not the least, the experience arrived in Ilhavo, Portugal, with the project Waving Windows. As we just see before of these closing words, the artists work with the lack of connection with the people living in the square in front of the theater with the outside performance, trying to discover their stories and giving them visibility. They were highlighted in the center of the city, building a very different way of connection with circus as performance and the participation in the sense of history. We arrive at this point and we have with us a lot of reflections, positive aspects, negative aspects. BETA CIRCUS Participatory experience, it's ending now as a project, but we expect to give a legacy for you, artists, cultural professionals in Europe and abroad. Very soon, a toolkit called Shared Stages will be available. It is a 200 pages document with a description and evaluation of this experience, but also conclusions with strengths and bad aspects of the experience that we have done together, and for sure a toolkit of recommendations how you can start doing participatory circus. But this is not the only thing. We love emotions, so very soon a documentary about participatory experience of BETA CIRCUS will also be available. It's a 35 minutes document with images and with a voice in the first person from most of the intervenients of this process. With these two legacy instruments, we hope you can dive into our stories, into our projects, into our perspectives of future. So, as I'm saying at the beginning of this speech, this is the end, but it's not really a final of everything. We can say this is a conclusion, but not an end. So, with all the tools that you have together, we hope BETA CIRCUS as a project can inspire all of you to continue connecting participatory arts with circus and stamping the word participatory circus as a discipline. To complete, I wanted just to say thank you to everybody that touched the project. I will not say names because it will be impossible, but from the partners, the associated partners, the founders, for sure, the European Union, that was the key element to make it possible. All the artists, all the participants, all the communities that take part with us, and everybody that I'm forgetting in this list that was essential for this collective of points in the network that make possible this project. Thank you for all of you. Thank you for you at your home, at your office, at your laptop, at your mobile phone. They are taking time to listen for us and understanding what was BETA CIRCUS participatory experience and what legacy it can do. Thank you so much and hope to see you all very soon.